Shout out to the family. We should be live right now. Let me see what's going on. Yeah. Shout out to the family. We should be live right now. We're going to have a spooky show tonight, y'all.
Oh, it's on and popping.
Well, we're going to have a spooky show tonight. Got to give y'all some alternatives to what's going on out there. Yo, you know what's crazy? Before we start anything, I was just talking to my girl. I was like, yo, you know, the news, the media, if you watch mainstream media, they have not mentioned boosting your immune system one time throughout this whole thing. It hasn't come out their mouth at all. Boosting something as obvious as that, they completely skipped over it. Democrats and Republican, Fox and CNN. So we fighting about Fox or CNN and who's the fake news. When shit like this, when it hit the fan, nobody's going to tell us to boost our immune system. Nobody's going to tell us to eat green leafy vegetables.
Right.
Nobody's going to tell us to stay hydrated. They just going to tell us about some vaccines coming down the line.
And test
mind control.
Bro, man, this is wild. But listen, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. I see the chat room filling in fast. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Yes, yes. Let me give a shout out to some Black businesses, just businesses. I don't, you know, some of them might not be Black, but let me give a shout out to some of these businesses before we get started, family. All right. So first and foremost, of course, the only way out is in at this point. You gotta go within. You gotta go within. You gotta go within. We dealing with the keys to Innerspace. Myself, I'm hosting the Eye-Magi-Nation Workshop, and it's going to be taught by my brother Billy Carson. It's May 23rd. We got to see exactly what's going to go on with New York because of the distant. What did they call that? What they call it? Distant what?
Social distancing.
Social distancing. We got to see exactly how this pans out. So in about a week, I guess we'll have a better. We're talking to the college, and because it's all the way in May, so I don't know, you know, how long they're gonna do this, but I will have an update with the people. Give me about a week, and we're gonna update everybody exactly. We might have to move it online and give the family some more incentives with an online workshop. But we're gonna work all that out. We're gonna see what's going on. It's not even April yet, but we'll keep you updated with that. Also, shout out to Lisa Brown with her yoga mats. Yoga is something we should be doing every day. I don't do it every day, but it's something I need to be doing every day. But yeah, shout out to the sister. She got these mats is inspiring. They'll make you want to do yoga just by looking at them. Also, shout out to if you didn't hear follicle stimulation, I like these folks here, Parindra-Ra Jaideep. My main brother, King Simon, the man when it comes to numerology, has helped me out tremendously throughout the last 10 years. When it comes to numerology, the brother's always on point. I'll at that brother. Shout out to the good folks at Happy. They coming out with an amazing documentary detailing the role of economics on the development of civilization. So make sure you go to their website, happyfilm.com. Also, shout out to Smai Tawi. They are engaging in yoga certification classes, as well as other things. So make sure you can text them or email them. And yoga is a theme coming up now. So I guess that's something the family has to get involved in, you know, in terms of just stillness. They have a book called The Art or the Power of Stillness. Stillness is going to be very important in these times, to be poised and to be still and just to be able to go within for answers. So all that stuff is important. But we're going to get to the show now. I want to welcome my brother, Roz Ben, and Hank Roz's son to the show. Welcome, family.
Yes, I.
Greetings.
Give thanks, Star.
Indeed. So like I said, man, this is some important times we in right now. It can be exciting for some. It can be scary for others. But, you know, we know there's more to us than just this vessel that we call the human body. Some people may call it a spaceship. There's different names that people may have for it. And we know that there's something way greater than that. We're way greater than this. We're multidimensional beings. This is an advanced grown man conversation tonight. You know what I'm saying? This is an advanced conversation tonight. So if you're not ready, leave. If you are ready, stay in the room. But what I want to talk to you about, Roz Ben, let's start out with Roz. I want to ask you, I was conversating with, actually Blue Pill told me a couple of weeks ago, he's like, yo, you got to have Roz Ben on the show. You did a breakdown on certain conjunctions, I hope I'm saying that right, happening this year. So we could start out with that. What exactly were you trying to tell the people about conjunctions going on, my brother? Oh, real quick, before we even get in that, I'm sorry, family. The fast is going down. We start Monday. Shout out to everybody who signed up so far. I mean, we almost at about, I think, 700. I told the people I wanted about 1,000 people for the fast. There's still time to sign up. You can click the link in the description. The food list is amazing that KT has provided. It's a 12-page document that's just, you should have it for the rest of your life and pass it to your family members. So KT's coming strong with it. We're gonna build our immune system. And I got the WhatsApp group starting on Monday. So, they're projecting fear out there. And the WhatsApp group, we're going to get away from that. And it's just going to be love, and it's going to be harmony, and it's going to be good vibes all day, every day with the WhatsApp group. Because health is not just what you eat, but it's what you consume with your eyes and your ears. So, we're going to do our thing. So shout out to everybody who joined that. But go ahead, my brother Rosban, go ahead.
Yes, I. Well, yeah, for about the past 7 years, I've been doing these astrological forecasts at this community center down here, the One Art. Shout out to the One Art community family, down here in Philly. So, 2020, man, each year I give each year a name, 2020 really lined up to be the year of great conjunctions. If I were to give this year a name, say like based on all the celestial events jumping off, what would I characterize this year? It'd be the year of great conjunctions, because you got really about 5 major celestial alignments with 3 key planets, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, and these is like fulfillments of long cycles. They're not like, an annual cycle. The shortest one sealing up is a 20-year cycle. You got the sealing up of a 20-year cycle and really a 400-year cycle, tying in with this whole 400-year sojourn we got here starting from Jamestown, And so we said there was going to be 3 to 5 major conjunctions jumping off that we had to pay attention to. First one jumping off early January, Saturn and Pluto. And we said that that's the 33-year cycle. And we know there's cats, how red and blue work the 44, right? There's cats on Earth that work the 33, and we know who they are. And them ones that work the 33, it's all about control of resources. And that Pluto Saturn conjunction in Capricorn early January was going to set off a global resource reset. And if you want to really, in my opinion, if you want to say, well, what would you name what we're looking at astrologically? It's a global resource reset, And when you look at it that way, it's no mystery why Saudi Arabia and Russia are in a price war over oil right now. And Russia ain't even an OPEC nation, And just how what they call a biomedical pandemic is having such economic impacts, you know? You got whole industries collapsing, and Amazon at the same time, Amazon's hiring 100,000, you know? So we're witnessing a global resource reset. And my message would be really at this point, not to get emotionally spun out, because we got a next conjunction jumping off in April. Very soon, April 5th, with Jupiter conjuncting Pluto. And I feel like something fortunate, something, some opportunity, some open portals, some grace, some mercy, something beneficent is going to jump off next month that you may expect, may not expect. And, you know, I say that because we see Trump like giving out money. When have we ever heard like Babylon saying, hey, you ain't gonna have to pay your bills and we're gonna just send you some cash? You know, I ain't never heard this before from Babylon, you know? So, I mean, we can expect some things like that next month. And that, I would say, is a reflection of this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction that's coming. But there may be even unexpected fortunes coming our way next month, you know? But then we got some other deeper conjunctions coming. But what I would say is just check the full forecast on my YouTube, Rospin188. It's also on my website, rospin.com. So we could, you know, open up the reasoning, you know.
Indeed, my brother. So I want to get to you know, both of you brothers. First of all, you have a book out. Tell the people the name of your book, Rosman.
Well, I actually, man, from the last time I've been on your platform, I actually got 3 books out. Because I think I haven't been on since 2018, you know? 2018, I came out with The Great Mystery Philadelphia, which is, you know, even though the title would make you think it's about Philly, it's really about us and our place in prophecy and what they would call our prophetic birthright. And how embedded in the layout and urban design of Philadelphia is the story of ones attempting to steal our birthright and Philadelphia's role in that, you know, and Philadelphia's place in prophecy. So that came out 2018. Then 2019, messing around with Rising Sun down in Virginia, this brother, Rising Sun, opened up a portal for me to go down to the Nat Turner land. And we was with your boy Cambada. He went down there with us as well. And man, I got these downloads. They took us to these sacred mounds in Richmond and gave us an opportunity to decode the urban geomancy in Richmond. And it inspired me to drop a next book called Free Your Mound and Your Mind Will Follow, which really gets into, you know, the science of urban geomancy and necrogeomancy, how the manipulation of the magnetic fields, ley lines, and mound complexes of the earth can affect one's consciousness, you know, and how we have to really tap into those higher levels of knowing and being tapped into the planet, you know. So I came out with that. Also, spirit put on me last year. Yo, we got to help these people be 5G well. This 5G's rolling out. Yeah, man, we gotta, line up some 5G wellness. So I came out with a little book, man, 5G Wellness 101. It really is a 101. And to be honest, I don't know if it's written for you, Brother Rich, someone who's a high metaphysician like yourself, It's written for your aunt. It's written for your cousin who they don't know about no crystals. They be, they half listening to what you putting up, thinking like, yo, Rich done smoked some toad. He's out there now, It's written for them who might, they feeling 5G, but they need an explanation of what it is in like simple, plain talk, first person. So that's 5G Wellness 101. And it gives us the basics of what we need to know to be 5G well, And yeah, man. That's what I got bubbling for the people in this season.
Well, what can you tell me, Roz and Hank? Let's talk about some solutions to what everybody is saying is a problem that 5G is causing right now. When we see what's going on with what they're calling coronavirus, people are saying that 5G is heavily influencing what we're seeing going on right now. For further info on that, KT talks about that, family. But let me just, before we go into crystals and how crystals may be of assistance to us, something that our community isn't really aware of. Let me just read this real quick. And I read this I'm reading this because last time I talked to the brother Hank, I read this on his show. And it's an excerpt from a book from David Icke. And it resonates with me a lot. And, I read it from time to time just to remind myself of who I am, what my body consists of. So let me just read this about the DNA and the crystal. This is a very short passage. DNA has a crystalline structure. It is a powerful receiver, transmitter, and amplifier of the frequencies or light that connects us to the cosmic internet. The brain body is basically a liquid crystal. When massively magnified, you can see the crystalline nature of the blood. The more you magnify it, it becomes quartz crystals, clear as day. Quartz crystal, which is used in our computers, has the ability to generate a fixed frequency and convert vibration into an electrical signal. And that's just what the five senses do. They decode information from vibrational wave state and transmit it to the brain as electrical signal. The brain itself is made up of crystalline cells. The brain itself made up of crystalline cells, then decodes the information into an apparent third dimensional world that appears to be outside of us, but only exists in that form inside our brains. It is the same principle as television programs or computer screens, and the internet. So we're talking about technology emulating our technology. We got this new version, this new robot, and we the old robot. So the new robot is kind of, I don't know, maybe it's replacing the old robot. We got the old programming. They got the new software. They got the updates. We ain't got, so people like, yo, let's get the 5G. Now we got the 5G and it ain't all what it's cracked up to be. So let's talk about our technology and how can crystals help us with everything we see going on right now.
All right, I want to grab this one. First, I want to acknowledge my own I am and the I am of all the listening audience now and in the future. And as always, I call and invite the Ascended Masters, the African avatars, Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrahim, the latest Christ born in the Congo named Simeon Toko that called an army of black angels to push the Belgians out. I call upon Nikolai Tesla, Saint Germain, Wilhelm Reich, Townsend Brown, Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, George Washington Carver, who was a shroom head, Dr. Sabi, who was a shroom head, Akhenaten, Imhotep, Ptahotep, Buddha, Krishna. And I ask all our ascended masters like Geronimo, Nat, Osceola, Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Goddess of Love in her many names. I salute you. So let's talk crystal remedies. I acknowledge my brother's KT Arch degree. Y'all make sure you get a bag of nuts, Brazil nuts, to have 2 to 4 a day so your selenium is up to par. Then make sure you get some Himalayan black salt so you have additional minerals. Then, if you're able, get yourself some Ethiopian salt, asaltafar.com. It's real small because we are mineral deficient, and that is why the 5G is just doing damage to people's DNA, because it started in Wuhan. Wuhan was bragging that it was a 5G city. Every time they mess with the atmosphere, with radar, wireless transmission, people who are mineral deficient become sick. Every time they do something with the atmosphere, HAARP, you've had over the years, different radio frequencies, people who are mineral deficient become sick. It isn't a epidemic of a viral overtaking the planet. It's an epidemic of mineral deficiency. It's an epidemic of insufficient minerals that you normally found in food 20 and 30 years ago. So now you have to compensate with sea moss, as Dr. Sabi said, bladderwrack, Brazil nuts, because selenium is an essential mineral that will prevent you from even have a runny nose. And you can be in a room or a train or a bus full of folks coughing, hacking, and spitting mucus. But if you have sufficient minerals in your system, you are impervious to low frequency attacks on the micro level. Crystal wise, let's talk about remedies. I came up with a simple solution, and I was inspired with Ross Ben showing me tensor coils. So I went in meditation. I want to say, those who are able, get the book called Magic Presence by Godfrey Ray King. Magic Presence by Godfrey Ray King. It's a book that will describe the beings who are advanced living inside the earth, because we are considered the surface survivors of an ancient nuclear war between various continents, including Atlantis and India. And the radioactive fallout caused us to shrink from 20 to 30 feet tall down to 5 to 6 feet tall, shrunk our pineal gland from the size of a tangerine down to a pineal. Also, it shrunk our heart chakra and reduced our lifespan, as in the Old Testament, Moses and all the different prophets living for hundreds of years, not particularly Moses. He didn't live that long, but Adam lived for hundreds of years. Abraham, they lived for hundreds of years because there was a different terrain on the earth. It is now a biological toxic fallout called deuterium that's in the atmosphere and in the food and in the water. And the way you can simply get rid of the deuterium, this radioactive element that causes aging. So family, you're not aging, you're not getting sick, you're experiencing radioactive poisoning, because without deuterium in the water, in the food, you would live close to 1,000 years. So the Ivy League schools throughout the nation, including Jamaica, they are studying not only psychedelics, but they're also studying deuterium depleted water, DDW. And the way you can simply create your own deuterium depleted water is heating a pot of water to a boil and then sit that pot in your sink with ice so it drops about 10 degrees. And do this 3, 6, or 9 times, and it will supercharge the hydrogen, and it would remove substantial amount of deuterium from the water. Once you remove the deuterium, plants will grow double to triple the size. Your pets and plants will also grow double and triple the size if you start them young. I got 3 cats from kitty cat drive-bys, and they're all healthy, drinking DDW, or what I call pyramid water. Now, to charge your homes with crystals, Ross Ben is a good supply. I have the cell phone shields, but a simple one that I'm doing tonight is just put a crystal on a rotating platform that's used for photography and let it rotate slowly in the room that you work or sleep. And what I was experimenting with, as again, I was talking about earlier, the Kundalini coil. The Kundalini is the energy that's sleeping in the base of everyone's spine, and it's 3.5 rotations of a coil, Kundalini. And when it's activated and it rises up your spine, you are not only awakened to cosmic consciousness, but you also activate cosmic superpowers. So to create, or just to take a regular red wire and rotate it, twist it 3.5 times and place it on your crystal, it will reinforce your magnetic field and supersede the low frequency energy of the cell phone towers, the 5G, because in our communities, the towers are not only giving you cell phone connections, but it's also putting a program underneath, like an undertone, to say agitate, self-hate,
Right.
homicide,
Right.
rape.
Kill
All
your
that is being
family.
programmed in the cell phone radiation. So unless you get a cell phone shield, unless you place a crystal on your neck, you are becoming susceptible to the programs that's hidden inside the cell phone tower programs to allow your phone to have connection to the world. So what I want you to do, get yourself copper coil, get yourself a rotating platform, get yourself a crystal. And Ross Ben has different crystals available. And what you do is just make 3 rotations with a copper wire and muscle test to see which side the copper and the crystal want to work together, because you can muscle test and feel when you need particular nutrients in your diet. You can hold the Brazil nuts and try lifting a 20-pound weight, and then put the Brazil nuts down and try lifting. And if the weight feels heavier when you do not have the nuts in your hand, that means you are mineral deficient. You can do the same thing with sea salt. Muscle test to see if you have adequate minerals. Muscle test to check and see if you have enough sea moss. Dr. Sabi used to drop on one knee and sound like a sledgehammer hitting the wooden floor. Boom! And he said that when his knee would start hurting, he knew he needed to increase the minerals from taking sea moss.
Wow.
Now, wearing crystals for men over the heart chakra is most important to protect you from the radiation of negativity and also strengthen your magnetic field, your magnetic aura. Women, you need to wear crystals underneath your navel and above your pubic bone, because you have a crystal palace, my sisters. You literally have a double crystal magical oracle in your womb. This copper tube is like your vagina, and the crystal on the bottom is your crystal clitoris. So you have to wear protective crystals such as black tourmaline, onyx, shungite on your waistline, or so that your crystal womb your crystal vagina and your crystal clitoris is cleared from the toxins that you absorb through your hips. Crystal hips. Every woman, you have crystal power to change the world. You have a crystal ball as a womb. You have a vaginal canal. That's the staff. That's the power. And on the other end, you have a crystal clitoris. So you can imagine the world between your thighs and massage your crystal clitoris or rub your crystal womb and create a magical spell on the planet until you reach peak bliss. This is the importance that you must do. Us men, we must have heart bliss in our chest. That is why the breastplate of Aaron, there was 12 crystals that Aaron's brother Moses had him wear. If you don't have a pistol, you better have a crystal, because Judah, the tribe of Judah, is amethyst. And Christians were the original psychedelic, drinking, crystal-wearing hippies of old. But you forgot who you were, because in Exodus, it describes the breastplate of Aaron, having the crystals on you. As men, we wear it on our chest because we are emotionally passive. Women are emotionally aggressive. Women are energetically passive in their womb. And men, we are energetically active and aggressive by nature of our design. So again, get in touch with crystals. Get a black tourmaline from Ross Ben, because I don't carry big old Ross Ben size black tourmaline like this. This is a double terminator. I think I got this from you, Ross Ben, back in the day. Get yourself a double terminated crystal. I have them on my website, or you can call me and I will create. But the most important thing to do is have a cell phone shield. All right. After you drink your sea moss, after you take your Brazil nuts, after you lick a little bit of black salt or Ethiopian salt, then you want to shield up with the various crystals that are found inside of the cell phone shield. If you don't have a pistol, you better have a crystal, because you, my brothers and sisters, stop being reactive and be proactive. We haven't been up on our prayers. We haven't been the guardians of the universe, as Ross Ben has spoken. When was the last time you said, yes, I am the only spirit force having dominion over the entire earth and beyond? We've been sitting back like broken Negroes on a plantation saying, oh, Lordy, what we gonna do? Oh, Lordy, what we gonna do? That's why you need psychedelics like acacia, which is the tree of life in the Bible. That's why you need mushrooms, so that you can crack your monkey mind and free your mind, so that your behind can start developing a new technology. You know how many of our grandmothers and grandfathers can have pain removed if you coil wire correctly? If you study with Ross Ben how to coil wire, because I'm the researcher and developer. I haven't put my book out yet, but this is a book. This is a new industry. This is magnet therapy. Crystals, coils go together. Magnets too. So we don't have to worry about the fall of Babylon. We have to plan for the new industry of correctly wrapping and activating crystals. Create the new industry where we can magnet massage and create magnetic induction to get the cerebrospinal fluid moving through the body and get rid of pain. I just want to say,
you showing that that coil right there. Let me put that on the screen again. Let me see that.
Yeah, this is a coil. This is 9 strands, 28 gauge, twisted in 2 different directions. Again, Ross Ben inspired me years ago. How long was that, Ross Ben? I forgot.
Yeah.
So what's the, let me ask you this.
5 years.
Let me ask you this. I hear people talk about the science of the 9 ether beings versus the 6 ether beings. And you showing me that obviously it looks like all of our hair. So what can you tell me about our hair being an antenna? If we're crystals, and you know, Nikola Tesla said he's a receiver, and the information is in the I forgot what word. I don't know if he used the word source field or what term he used, but we're basically receivers, and we're receiving this information. What does our hair, the fact that our hair spirals, and you just mentioned nine spiral and the 9 ether, what does that have to do with all of this?
Everything. I'm going to let Bros Ben explain it more, but sisters and brothers, create a coil of either 3, 6, or 9 rotations on a spring so that you can create an industry of locks, that a person can put the coils in their locks because hair has copper. And Rosben, please explain to them with your mastery how important nappy hair is to activation, transmutation, and elevation.
Yes, I. Well, if y'all remember back in the day, right? We had that, they call it the rabbit ear antenna, right? And it was 2 different ones. There was the rod antenna, right? And the coil antenna, right?
Right.
And the rabbit ear would come with 2 switch, the VHF, which was very high frequencies. So the rod would pick up the very high frequencies. But if you wanted to get the UHF, the ultra high frequencies, you had to flip the switch to the coil antenna, right?
Okay.
The ultra high frequencies, UHF. So it's the same thing, you know? Straighter hair is going to pick up very high frequencies. Coiled hair is going to pick up the ultra high range, you know? So, yeah, man.
It's like a stronger Wi-Fi connection, huh?
Yeah, broader band, exactly.
Broader band, yeah.
A broader band, exactly.
Wow,
yeah,
man, there's some good stuff here.
So we have to become responsible for what we think. I'm looking at multiple texts, and because we never went through the wash of post-traumatic slave trauma, we see as soon as there's some stress,
right,
we play the victim card better than anybody.
What?
And we have to use crystals, and Lord knows everybody needs to call on ascended masters when you do your psychedelics, because you need to microdose so that you can slowly, I'm not saying take and I give salutations to Master Kalindi. He says you need about an ounce of shrooms to crack your madness. I say just do a little bit, microdose a little bit of mushrooms so that you can learn how to go inside a crystal and ask its secrets and downloads on how to activate the crystal. Because if your aura can be amplified more than several miles between a crystal and the coiling, then you can chant into the crystal peace, tranquility, and earthly wealth and abundance for all. What's going on in the White House and the government? There's a secret war going on, and we don't have any part to play in it. The part that we play is being the crystal keepers, masters of the universe through our I am, because Mecca is shut down. The Arabs shut down Mecca and ain't allowing nobody to pray because they're scared of the coronavirus. Mecca is as empty as a desert right now. Okay? That's fear. We can't be about fear because we are all ghosts in bed sheets. I'm going to say that again. We are all ghosts living in bed sheets, and none of us getting off this planet alive. So stop being cowards and start living like champions, because we only have a short ticket on this planet. All right? We are ghosts in bed sheets on a clock, and we don't know when our time is up. So we might as well embrace passionately who we were here to amplify prismatically. We were here to amplify joy, comedy, bliss, We come from the heart of God, and that's the greatest orgasm, multigasm, cosmic gasm experience of enlightenment. Ross, tell them something else about the Ethiopian Bible and how many books are missing from the King James Version to all those Christians that think they got the real thing, being a King James reader.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, Enoch told us of these times long time ago, you know, for sure. And what I will say though is like, and I'm gonna bring it forward to the astrological alignments, because the thing about this time, we are in a special time, you know. Many would call it a quickening, and I know we're all experiencing this, where what we think, what we feel, what we say, and what we do, the omniverse is giving us almost instant feedback. You know, we call it synchronicity, magi manifestation, instantaneous, you know, like right in time, you know. But what it is in 2020, the omniverse is offering no resistance to our personal momentum. And I know we all started this year with a lot of personal momentum. Am I right?
Ashe.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. And it was a collective thing. And I think our biggest challenge right now is to not allow this thing to slow down our personal momentum. And I got to ask everyone, who wears your crown? You know, I know who's on my crown, and it's not a virus, you know? So, yeah, man, our crown and glory should be nothing to fear. And the word sound they got on it is deep, you know, because you're right. You got the people forsaking their crown, scared of the crown. Yeah, man. So,
I'm gonna touch on that. When you experience fear, you reverse your kundalini. Let me take note of the words. I'm getting my ass up out of here. Okay? Reverse your kundalini when you experience fear. Become aware. Kiss death in the face every day when you wake up in the morning and you say hello to the creator as you understand the creator. Because each day we inhale, that's life. We exhale, that's death. But we live in a society that's controlled. Machiavellian Western civilization is controlled by fear. Boo! Boo! It's all about reversing your kundalini so you remain like sheep instead of being protectors and the sisters being generators of tomorrow's geniuses. And all our sisters out there, be gentle with each other. Send each other love. We haven't learned how to love. We forgot how to love in this fear-laden society. When was the last time you said, I forgive all life, and I ask everybody in this life to forgive me? Because we got past life karma, y'all. So say often, I forgive all past lives, and I ask everybody in my past lives to forgive me. Because we are the ultimate actors and actresses on the wooden stage of life, while our ancestors sit in the balconies and in the pews listening to us carry out the dreams that they had that they weren't able to fulfill. They didn't want you as the manifest seed to be a scared Negro. They want you to be a God. Psalms 82:6, ye are gods, children of the one most high. All the Christians, know your Bible. Marvel not at the things I do, for ye shall do these and more, because I return to the Father. If you had the faith of a mustard seed, you would say to the mountain, be removed, and it would be removed. Say often, yes, I am invisible to all law enforcement. Yes, I am. Because it's all about spoken acoustical spells. That is interesting and ironic that so many rappers chant about death and they experience physical death. We have to be careful with our double-sided sword of spoken word gift. We have to bless more. Yes, I am fruitful every day in every way, because as you said, Brother Rich, we are crystal beings. Our connective tissue is literally wrapped around all the muscles throughout our body, and it is liquid crystal. So when you breathe deep, you add voltage to your connective tissues. So when you breathe shallow, your crystal reservoir is empty. When you breathe deep with intention, you charge up your crystal kingdom, which is your physical body, your physical spacesuit. All the connective tissue, you can literally pack it with electricity, so you can't get knocked out, you can't get choked out, and if you fall, you bounce instead of break, because the connective tissue is an electrical capacitor for the entire body to get charged from the air we breathe and from walking barefoot on the earth or grounding our mats on for the beds or our feet. We are literally capacitors that we can charge up from the earth and the air and manifest anything we desire. And whenever you say the words, I am, every nucleus, every atom turns to say, there's a self-realized God. What is his or her desire? So we ask Archangel Michael to protect our loved ones, our children, our nieces, nephews, and families. We ask Archangel Raphael. These are black angels, y'all. These are black angels. Look at the Ethiopian descriptions. We're the cornerstone. Edgar Casey was asked the question back in the 30s. Tell us about the Negro. You know what he said in his trance state? The sleeping prophet said, the black man is the salt of the earth. What does that mean? Salt of the earth. That means you are the Alpha and the Omega.
Who said that, Hank? Who said that?
Edgar Casey. He said the black man is the salt of the earth. Because we all have amnesia. We watch superhero movies, and then when stuff hits the media, we become, oh. I ride my bike every day. I'm free. Yes, I am. Say it. Study Neville Goddard on YouTube. Study Reverend Ike. I am. Get the book Magic Presence by Godfrey Ray King, because inside the earth, we would live 1,500 years. We are the surface savages on a chicken head prison planet filled with fear for only 50 to 80 years. So you might as well put the pedal to the metal, punch it, and live gloriously so that our ancestors will applaud us.
That was powerful, my brother. That was truly powerful, man. Man, I hope the family in the chat gets excited. Like I always say when I hear this information, y'all should be excited when y'all hear this information. Number one, because of the emotional intention coming from these brothers, and number two, it just reminds you of how your greatness, and that's very important. That's very important for us to keep that in mind, because you know it's one thing for us to say we know we great on an intellectual level, but to feel it from your heart, that brain heart coherence is very important.
Yeah.
You could. I said this before. Maybe you could elaborate on it. Me and Billy Carson is going to go into this at our workshop. But you could know something. Say you could know something intellectually for 10 years, and that in the 11th year, you finally understand it from a heart level, and that's when the manifestation takes place. So a lot of our people know tons of information. They're like, oh, I know that already. I know that. But we only know it on an intellectual level. So talk to me about learn this information from a heart level and not an intellectual ego level.
Well, the heart is the most magnetic part of us, you know? And yeah, we say the Magi magnifies, magnetizes the magnificence of his or her Eye-Magi-Nation, you know? So you might have the vision in your heavens, right? Or what them say, your Eye-Magi-Nation. You got the vision there. But what's going to magnetize it? What's going to magnify it is that heart center, you know? And yeah, they say he who feels it knows it, you know? And when you know it, you are it. You manifest, you know? So
I want to touch on that too.
mind and heart do have to be in unity.
Yes.
The brain and the heart. The latest science research shows that the heart is 100 times more electrical than the brain. So you have to become aware. You've been conditioned, socially engineered to live out of your head instead of being connected to your heart. Your heart is 4,000 to 5,000 times more magnetic than your monkey mind head. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah.
4,000 to 5,000 times more magnetic over your monkey mind head. Your brain can only handle 24 frames of information per second. Your heart can have quantum access and process information. That's why intuition is smarter than logic. Logic is the lowest form of intelligence. I have a history where I was stabbed because I listened to my monkey mind using logic when my intuition was saying, you're about to be attacked. I rationalized it just like the people who rationalized the warning 9/11 to not to go to work, and the ones who stayed home and turned on their heels from the train stations, they lived to see another day. So ever since I was stabbed in the chest, filled up with blood, I have studied to cultivate intuition because I learned at a young age the monkey mind it will lead you to the express train to hell. So anybody who's using their monkey mind through the limited access of vision, smell, taste, hearing, instead of listening to intuition, you're operating on the obsolete program. It is now the time that we have to use our heart, our intuition, our meditation. Stop, meditate, and go into the realm of the crystals. Literally study Ho'oponopono. That means, yes, the Hawaiians say, yes, you're a god. Yes, you're a goddess. Now take responsibility. And everything you've experienced, intentionally or unintentionally, you created in this life or another life. So you can't play the victim card anymore. It is also an obsolete program. Anyone who wants to play victim in any circumstances, they're cowards. The information now is, yes, say I am divine. I am forgiving all life, and I am all life forgiving me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And for all the couples and the people got babies in their stomachs and their children, whisper in their ears while they're sleeping at night, you are protected always. So whisper to your children while they're sleeping positive affirmations so that they will be programmed deep in their minds. Or the bigger kids who didn't receive that program, put the crystal on a rotating table like this here and put a prayer underneath the crystal so it can rotate your prayers to all the land over the earth and over the ocean. Because we are experiencing a reality created by someone else. You are a dream master that's been sleeping at the wheel. You can be a better dream master. Create a reality you want tomorrow. As Lester Loving, the famous crystal master pyramid man, I call him, he says, crystals increase positive affirmations upwards 600% according to the research. So get a crystal from Ross Ben. Ross Ben got all kinds of crystals. He just came back from, Tucson, Arizona, Ross Ben?
Tucson.
Tell us about them crystals.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, I made it out to the largest gym and mineral event in the world that occurs in the Aquarian state of Arizona, in the Aquarian city of Tucson in the Aquarian season. Yeah, man. So it's definitely a mystical time, big vortex, you know? And I do see more and more of us out there every year. Give thanks, you know? We tuning into that abundant frequency out there.
Let me
But yeah,
let me ask. Oh, go ahead, brother.
nah, but you know, this year I focused on 5G protection. I knew what time it was, you know? And I focused on the feldspar family, which we would call like the energy filters. They filter the unwanted energy coming in our aura, you know? The carbon silicates. So the important ones in the feldspar family include labradorite, also known as spectralite, moonstone, pneumite, amazonite. Yeah, man, these is important, important, important. We also got the shungite. Shungite's getting a lot of play these days. It's basically superconductive carbon, you know? Shungite does to air what charcoal does to water. It's another energy filter,
Woo.
you know? Of course, we ideally, health-wise, we got to stay magnetized, right? So we need stones that's gonna give us that magnetic polarity. I think as 5G mandates we need like strong magnetic stones, you know, magnetized hematite. I think is very important in this season. Magnetized hematite, not just regular hematite, but hematite that's actually been, you know, brought up in the lab and charged up, you know? But also, if you want to deal with like just natural stones that got the proper magnetic resonance force, that would be the Moki marbles. And I was able to score some of them as well, you know? And then the other thing we want to do is keep our frequency right. And one that is ideal for that is the quartz family. So double terminated quartz, as well as uh, amethyst, because amethyst is a ferrosilicate. It's quartz with iron. Citrine, same way. So that was really my focus this year. You know, ones that got the 5G remedy. You know.
Let's talk about Ross Ben. Family. I was listening to Ross Ben. I was vending at an event, and he started talking about the oldest crystal on the planet that recharges the kidneys. I immediately jumped up. Because there's so many people experiencing kidney failure. And Ross Ben said, hold on, player. So I'm gonna hold on. And Ross Ben, could you share the importance of pneumite and
New might.
how?
New might. Yo, that's one of the feldspars that I had just mentioned. And like Rising Sun said, it's an ancient stone. It's the carbon in pneumite is my understanding, comes from the bodies of like the first unicellular organisms to be on the planet 3 billion years ago, you know? So they ancient, and they got like an ancestral frequency with them too, in my opinion. Like when I work with them, it seems like my intuition and my connection with ancestral knowing is just increased, you know? And I think it's a part of that anciency. But the thing with Pneumite, beyond being an excellent energy filter for the 5G, it also restores deep chi. It restores the deep chi of the body. So you know we got two chis. You got your daily chi that if you eat a meal, that chi is replenished, right? But then you got a deeper chi, the chi you inherited, like, you know, from dad's seed. And that chi that when you let go of your seed, it's like, whoo, you know? And that's the chi that when that goes, you feel old, you know? Like yeah, you need more than a nap and a meal to be restored when your deep chi is gone, you know? So the Numite restores the deep chi. It's a great rejuvenator, you know? And it's very important. It's very, very important for this 5G reality. I think the
Somebody.
Numite, and the Amazonite, because like everyone is up on the Shungite right now. You know, Shungite is on everyone's tongue, everybody working with it. And I affirm Shungite's importance, you know. But Numite, don't sleep on the Numite and the Amazonite. And the thing with the Amazonite, you know, when you go to the dental office and they like, oh, we need to take an x-ray. And they don't want to expose you to random radiation. They put a heavy plate on your chest. That's lead, right? So we know lead shields unwanted radiation. But the thing with lead crystals, most lead crystals are brittle and soft, not wise to wear, because we know lead can be toxic. And so you wearing like a soft lead crystal like galena, over time, that lead is going to leach into your clothing, leach into your environment, you know? So Amazonite, it's a carbon silicate. It's hard. It ain't brittle. It's not soft. And it has microcrystalline deposits of lead. So it's the safest lead-wearing stone you can have. So it's the energy filter. It's a feldspar with lead. You know, dual action. So the Numite, Amazonite, they go a long way in this 5G reality. You know?
Somebody in the chat asked Rosben, Dark Matter Reading asks, when he was talking about the Numite, is this related to the Nomo of the Dogon tribes?
Well, no, it gets its name because it comes from Numa, Iceland. It was on Numite was only revealed to the world in the late 90s due to glacial recession when the climate change caused this glacier to melt. It exposed Numite for the first time in our era. And so because the closest town is Numa, Nuuma, that's how it's got the name Numite. So it's not a direct Dogon connection, but we know word sound has power and their things are more synchronistic than coincidental, you know?
Indeed.
I want to touch on the importance now, family, of magnetizing your blood.
Yeah.
Our blood, anybody over the age of 25, you have deposits in your capillaries, you have deposits in your extremities where the blood is literally filled with fatty deposits from processed foods. The correct application of wearing a magnetic bracelet dissolves the fat in the bloodstream so that you literally have an increase, according to Science Magazine, increase in blood flow 20 to 30%. Look at my head. I got a head full of hair, all right? And I ain't no young chicken or young rooster for that matter. The reason people go bald is because of inadequate blood flow in the capillaries of the head. The reason diabetes is so dangerous is because the capillary flow, the blood becomes too thick. The leading cause of death and disease in this country is due to blood being too thick. Heart attack, stroke, blood too thick, diabetes, too much sugar, which leads to blood being too thick. So you can literally increase the blood flow. However, in addition to increase in blood flow, 20 to 30%, you literally, through the magnets, activate the pyramids in the crystals of the hemoglobin that are the same angles as the pyramid of Giza. So in your body, family, you have in your hemoglobin pyramid crystals waiting to be activated.
Crystals, yes.
Go ahead, touch on that, Brother Ross.
No, I'm just saying you, brother. You right. You want it, you know?
Yeah.
And
so you can magnetize, family. You just go to the, if you want to order it from my website, or you can just go to a hardware store and just buy 2 flat magnets, stick them side by side, and after you heated your water and cooled it 3, 6, or 9 times, you magnetize the water so that you have better flow, not only for yourself and your elders and your children, but also your pets and your plants. They love magnetized water. Increasing the flow. You can also magnetize gasoline and increase combustion efficiency. So don't sleep on the magnets. You can put a North Pole magnet against your forehead, and it can be so amazing in opening up those realms, those psychedelic realms, that it might shock you or scare you. There have been people that told me they took the magnet off their forehead because they had an awesome experience. I had a large magnet on my crown, and it sucked my soul out of the body until I snapped back in. So you have to make sure you do prayers with your crystals, prayers with your magnets, because now you are exploring the forces of nature. That's why it's so important when you go, say if you go into the Amazon or you're going out in the woods, you always want a guide. So I'm going back to the psychedelics because you need a guide when you go into the realms of psychedelics. Psychedelics is where our ancestors live. Mother Mary, Black Madonna, Yahshua, Melchizedek, Enoch. They live in the psychedelic realms. That's their home. So it's like you going to take some shrooms, but you don't want to acknowledge the people who live in the house. So I don't mean to go off on that tangent, but what I'm saying about magnets and crystals, you have to talk to them because everything has a spirit of divinity in it, and it's alive. Are crystals alive, Brother Ross?
You definitely are alive. You definitely are alive. You know, they're the mineral kingdom, just like the plant kingdom and the human kingdom. And we do have to honor them as such, you know. 2, and when you talk about that 2 in particular, the celestial quartz and seraphonite quartz, them are angels incarnating stone, you know. You definitely want to be honorable when you're working with them families, you know.
I will also
but
say for
I want to, I want to mention something about magnetizing, that it is something we talk about in 5G wellness, that I think one of the most important things you can do, if you say, man, I'm dealing with some symptoms from 5G, most important thing you can do is magnetize within and without. What that means is you got to get some iron rich plants, you know, plants from the mineral kingdom that have already chelated the iron, made it organic and assimilable for the body. Drink those herbs, drink those teas to get the iron on the inside, and then work with magnetic, paramagnetic crystals. You got to magnetize within and without and stay hydrated. That's so important, because the thing with 5G is they're broadcasting over the spectrum of water, right? Which is 0 to 100 gigahertz. The 5G spectrum is 0 to 95 gigahertz. We know we're 70% water. Water is most fluid and vital, active in our blood, right? If we are iron deficient, it will not be our magnetic life force moving the water in our body. It'll be these 5G fields moving the water in our body. And that's why I've observed in the community an increase in circulation issues. And what's happening is the people are anemic, and the iron is in our blood for a reason. It's not just a muscular force of the heart that moves blood through our body. Our heart is magnetic. It's actually working like a dynamo that is like, creating a magnetic field that helps with the circulation of our blood. But it needs the iron in our hemoglobin in order to make that happen, And so if we're iron deficient, our heart is not going to be able to have the influence over our blood to overcome these 5G fields, So people are experiencing an increase in circulation issues in this 5G reality. And if your circulation's off, that's the foundation for, all other debilitating conditions, So
Indeed.
it is vital, 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 magnetize within and without, work with magnetizing stones and make sure you are iron rich in your blood.
Facts.
I want to build on that. It is important that we start grounding. You can order it on Amazon, grounding pads to put on your bed or grounding straps to put on your shoes, because using your cell phone, with whether it's 3G, 4G, or 5G, you collect static electricity in your body.
Yes.
You build up a static charge. So the way you get rid of that, in the warm weather, you walk barefoot. It also removes pain from your joints. It removes inflammation from your body. So if you have a family member, regardless of age, that has joint pain, what they may need to do is take a copper wire, put it underneath their foot, and take the other end of the copper wire and connect it to a radiator or the ground in the outlet, for those who know how to work the ground. This is a whole new industry that's needed, because with everyone having a cell phone, everyone is overcharged with static electricity.
That's right. That's
so
right.
You need people to start making shoes that have copper rivets, so that people can be grounded to the earth from the static electricity accumulated from being in front of a monitor, or riding in a car, or riding in a train. You need to ground out the extra static from your body, and it's measurable. This isn't pseudoscience. This is an exact science that can be done with a voltmeter. You can measure voltage. In our body, we have like a trillion volts. But if you learn to collect and magnetize and polarize all the voltage, you can create a lightning storm. You literally have amazing, unlimited abilities between the magnetism, the minerals, and the electricity that's inside your body. But you've been cultivated to be a battery slave on a chicken farm, prison planet. But it's time for us to say, yes, I am awakening to all I am. The two most important is your birthday and what day you realize what you was born to do.
Mm.
Like in the conversation with Brother Rich, he was one of the things he was born to do is interviews. Amazing, amazing. And now he's like, Brother Rich, I have to say this. The best of Quincy Jones, not talking about his personal life, but he was a music, he wasn't a good musician. He was a good composer and a producer. He did all these different albums. And when I see your music videos, Brother Rich, I'd be like, wow, Brother Rich is from the tribe that is producing music. Who knows, in 5 years or even 3 years, Brother Rich may have a movie, documentary, or I don't know what you got going on in your brain, but whatever you're doing, may the force be with you, because all of us have gifts like no one else. And I am working on the book, family, How to Massage with Magnets, and I will have it released this year. And the following book is going to be How to Coil Crystals to Activate and Feel Wonderful, whether you use an orgone or just a crystal. Because in my understanding of a crystal, it's literally a sleeping orgone generator. Wouldn't you agree with that, Brother Ross? That it's a sleeping generator?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our cell phones.
Orgone, you know, they call it orgone, chi force, you know, it got many names. But yeah, quartz shares life force, you know, for sure.
Yeah. And then I challenge all the couples and even the single people to put on a correctly wired crystal or orgone and see what it's like to your significant other with devices like this around your neck to increase your personal voltage, to increase and condense your personal magnetism so that you can create lightning storms day or night. I challenge you to go into a work environment with a crystal that has coils on it so that you can energetically become the alpha presence, so that the people who are truly your friend will be drawn to you, and those who do not desire your highest good will move away from you. I challenge you to wear crystals and make pendants for your pets. Because Atlantis, according to Edgar Cayce, Atlanteans stayed in their 20s for thousands of years using crystals. Atlanteans, according to Edgar Cayce's readings, used crystals to maintain youthfulness for thousands of years. What is that saying about crystals? What is that saying about you meditating? What is that saying about unlimited possibilities with future industry? Who knows? You might have secrets inside crystals that not only allows you to teleport, it may also give you records, access to ancient records. The mountains have rocks, like a brother wrote in the, I forgot his name, When Rocks Cry Out.
Rocks cry out.
Yeah. We have unlimited resources to tap into the industries of tomorrow. So all the young folks, get off social media, being social media slaves, and tap into the energy of crystal. Start exploring crystal technology, because cell phones and media are using a small form of crystal technology, low frequency.
Denatured crystals.
Let me
say it again, Brother Ross.
Denatured crystals. All cell phones and modern telecommunication is denatured crystals. So that's why, just on one level, we've seen a natural affinity growing in the community. Like, people are more attracted to crystals. Part of it is, you know, they exposed to these cell phones and all these denatured frequencies. Our bodies, the elements within us is like, yo, we need some natural vibes. We need some natural frequencies. That's why we're being drawn to the crystals. And I mentioned that the quartz family in particular, they're the ones that help us hold our frequency. And that frequency, what we would call our cohesive frequency, It's 8 hertz per second, 7.8 hertz, or rounded off to 8 hertz. That is the frequency that if we could have all other types of vibes going on within us, but if we got 8 hertz holding the beat, holding the vibe, that cohesive frequency, we're going to feel well. We're going to feel healthy. Our cells are going to be able to communicate with one another. You know? So
Well, let me ask you, we're talking about crystals. What about gold? You know, we hear all the stories about the Anunnaki coming down here and making, having slaves mine gold. We look at the pictures of our ancestors and we see that they're dripping in gold.
right.
And it just seems, even in modern times, our people seem to have affinity toward gold. You know, a brother gets some money, the first thing he want to do is buy a gold chain, get some gold teeth, get a gold watch. So how important is gold?
Well, gold is a great conductor, and gold is what they would say is the ultimate catalyst, because a catalyst is something that will initiate change, but yet itself remain stable and unchanged. And gold, you know, gold never corrodes. Gold can conduct electricity, do this and that. It'll never break down, it'll never corrode. Whereas copper, over time, copper will, you know, turn to patina. Over time, iron will rust, you know. But gold, it'll never, it'll never break down. So they say gold is the ultimate catalyst, you know, and
So
that it can, anything it comes in contact with, it's going to electrify and change and really elevate its frequency. But yet gold itself will never change. So that's like the metaphysical, alchemical foundation of the value of gold, you know?
I want to share with the family. I have found that when you use gold-coated magnets, it is superior in its healing and activation, because gold, they say gold is actually condensed starlight.
Mm.
Gold is condensed light, sunshine. When a star burns out and collapses upon itself, the byproduct of a star compressing and going into the blackness of energy, the byproduct is gold.
Mm.
So when you put gold, starlight on magnets, you literally have a superior experience with the crystals. So that's why I also want to suggest to the family, start exploring and get yourself some lapis. Lapis is a very important crystal to have. I have one from you, Ross Ben, that's really beautiful. It's shaped like a triangle. I think I should activate it. But could you share with us how important lapis is in wearing for protection and
Well,
thriving?
lapis, when we look at ancient Kemet, right? All of the stones that we tended to adorn ourselves with, they tended to have one of 3 key elements: carbon, copper, or sulfur, because these are the 3 key elements of melanin: carbon, copper, and sulfur. Okay? So lapis was the go-to sulfur stone in Kemet. Okay? Lapis. So it's a silicate with sulfur and iron, you know? So it's a melanin, it's a magnetic melanin feeder, you know? And yeah, lapis was often used in conjunction with copper-rich stones, including the azurite and the malachite in particular, right? The the carbon-rich stones, which tended to be the alabaster and the calcites that, you know, they would make what they would eat and drink from, would tend to be carbon-rich. So all of this was the alchemy of Kemet. And lapis played a key role in it, being the go-to sulfur stone, you know? So in this season, when we want to activate our melanin, we use the same principle. We want to go for some sulfur-rich stones. So that's the lapis, pyrite tend to be the, you know, go-tos. We want to work with our copper family, malachite, azurite, chrysocolla, turquoise, okay? Malachite is copper oxide, azurite is copper carbonate, chrysocolla, copper silicate, turquoise, copper sulfide. So turquoise and azurite are double hitters for our melanin activation, because azurite is copper and carbon, turquoise, copper, and sulfur, you know?
There's a formula that I kind of stumbled on, if you want to call it that, and I actually made the t-shirt replicating the ancient application of turquoise, carnelian, lapis, and gold.
Yes.
And that is the combination. And I believe that the crystal gold was considered a form of crystal. And I'm not sure about it, but I heard that from an artist, a Kemetic artist named Matu, that he said in ancient Kemet, they considered gold a form of crystal. Gold, 24 karat gold. And family, if you can't get 24 karat gold, get at least 18 karat gold. Don't get anything less than 18 karat, because the blessings and the healing energy of gold is not in the 12 karat, in the 14 karat. Let it be at least 18 karat, or preferably 22 karat or 24 karat gold. So the turquoise, carnelian, lapis, when I put it together with small gold beads, the energy was bliss on the people. When they tried wearing it, they would feel happiness. Because if you look at the ancient Egyptian depictions, they always look like they're high. They don't look like they're walking and worrying about paying a bill next month.
Blues and shit.
They look like they were literally in bliss.
Right.
And yes, ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet was a psychedelic civilization doing acacia, ayahuasca, mushrooms, doing tantra, cocaine, wild tobacco. We were getting high, getting down. So all the stiff hoteps, it wasn't that kind of party. But, you know, you got to be also compassionate. We, you know, our people did as best we could with what we're aware of. But we are now moving. The young generation is a psychedelic generation. And they want to know about what psychedelics are used in Africa, like ibogaine. What psychedelics was used in ancient Egypt, like shrooms? What psychedelics was used in ancient Kemet, like Bufo, or the goddess Hecate? From the neck down, she was a curvy sister. From the neck up, she had the head of a toad. So what was it about the psychedelics, and how was that used to reach enlightenment? In this lifetime, we have the opportunity to become a Buddha, to become a Krishna, to become enlightened. Who in our community is becoming enlightened in this quagmire of fear by social media? It's a form of mental slavery. Your purpose in this life is to live your divine destiny and become enlightened, so that you are a God-conscious individual before you give up this bedsheet, this spacesuit, this mud body. You want to reach back into the sea of love.
let's take a couple of questions from the people, man. This is such a great talk. I can't stay too long tonight, family, but this is absolutely wonderful talk. I want to take a few questions from the family before we get out of here. But before we get into that, I gotta check in with Roz, Ben, and Hank. You could chime in if you want. Give me an update, man, on our extraterrestrial relatives, brethren, man. What's going on, man?
Yo,
I need I need some alien talk, man.
all right. Well, thank you for asking, my brethren. Yo, something very relevant is happening, but it's just in that realm we need to pay attention to. All right. There was a woman named Carol Rosin, Dr. Carol Rosin. She worked in the early space program. Okay. And she said she revealed this in Dr. Stephen Greer's Disclosure Project that jumped off early 2000s. So, YouTube community can go and check this out. But she said that she came across some information that charged her with stopping what she called the false flag alien invasion. And she said that there was a script that US government was going to be following, that there were going to be these series of enemies. The first was going to be Soviet Union. Then there were going to be terrorists. Then there was going to be rogue nations. Then there was going to be asteroids. And after asteroids, they was going to pull the final card, which was going to be a false flag alien invasion. Okay? And so why I'm bringing that up is because I don't know if y'all been tuning into the number of articles and news reports about these close call asteroids and how asteroids are becoming a threat and how they're sending these probes to blow up asteroids and determine their makeup. And, they even said like this weekend, I think, Saturday or Sunday.
That's right.
This huge asteroid is supposed to be passing by so close to Earth, it might cause an air explosion, right?
Right.
So, there's just been this uptake in stories about asteroids. So according to Carol Rosin, this is the final play in this script before a false flag alien invasion. Okay? So what I would say is, if you see star nations that are coming in what they would call the disc-shaped UFO, I don't know if they on our team. If they in a pyramid mothership, what they would call a cigar UFO, or like a cylindrical UFO, or they are fleet of orbs, that's our team. So, we got to be vigilant and pay attention, because if what Carol Rosin said is accurate, the false flag, the ones not on our team might be making moves in the heavens,
Indeed.
So it would beyond the disc UFO, the triangle, the triangular wing formation UFO, them not on our team.
I want to touch on that, Brother Rich. The first, actually, after they started playing with nuclear weapons, the beings, the highly evolved beings who live in the hollow of the earth. The earth is on average, according to the Hollow Earth documents, the earth is only 800 miles thick. And on the interior, it's 3/4 land and 1/4 water. Whereas on the earth's surface, it's 3/4 water and 1/4 land. But the civilizations in the earth's interior were uninterrupted for hundreds and thousands of years. And the only reason they came to the surface or the rooftop of the earth is because the surface savages started playing with matches. And the matches are nuclear weapons. So they would go with their ships from the earth's interior through the North and South Pole. The opening is 1,200 miles in diameter. They would come out from the earth's interior and neutralize certain missile silos where they had the nuclear weapons. All right, so you had visitations also of world leaders that you're playing with matches, you're unevolved, and there may be an intervention on the extraterrestrial and interrestrial level so that the chicken head leaders don't blow themselves to smithereens and upset the whole balance of this solar system. We have been genetically manipulated to be slaves. Look up family Credo Mutwa, South African Zulu shaman, who speaks of the intraterrestrials and their advanced technology and how they literally terrorized the African leaders in Africa, in the various countries, to accept the coming of Europeans, because the Europeans were easily genetically manipulated to do the agenda of the intraterrestrials. Credo Mutwa spoke of this with David Icke. Did I say Icke right? Was it Icke? Yeah. So you can also find this in Carlos Castaneda, the shaman named Don Juan spoke of humans have been genetically manipulated to become docile and impotent. You also have in the Bible multiple references to different gods. Yahweh, the Lord, I am. And Genesis starts off saying, let us create man in our image after our likeness, male and female. So we are literally a product. In the Sumerian text, we were a slave species to mine out the gold for the Anunnakis. But we became, the population exploded and there was a revolution, and the leaders moved into the earth. So be aware, body parts. They're dropping guns in Black communities because the young fatherless boys think it's a rites of passage to blow each other's brains out, but they sell their organs off. They sell their kidneys, liver, eyeballs, for the highest price, and the bidding, with whatever the bidding is on the dark web. So you have to understand, self-hate is a program. Self-annihilation is a program, because whoever's killed, you're being sold for body parts. You're being harvested. Women disappearing off the streets at night with their headphones in their ears. You better learn to develop a relationship with Archangel Michael if you're so ignorant or so audaciously delusional that you think you're safe walking through the streets of New York City at 3 o'clock in the morning, or Philadelphia, or Los Angeles, or DC. They will grab you, do what they want, and then sell your body parts. Body parts is a hot commodity, but it's not spoken of. And every time we see somebody get busted for having a warehouse, I don't see follow-up news about it. Yeah. Have you, Brother Ross?
They recently popped these 2 women in Chicago. I think it was Chicago. Crazy warehouse full of parts.
Wow.
Yeah, man. There was a funeral home. There was a funeral home saying they was cremating, but yeah, processing the parts. No, and they announced it one time, it was a wrap. Yeah, I haven't heard from it since, you know.
And this is not only happening in our community, in the European community, they're disappearing from the national parks.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
That's happening here too. The national
Huh?
parks is a big disappearance vector here in the States too. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. There's a guy, he got a series of books on it. I can't recall his name right now, but I think the name of his book is Missing 411. You can look it up. He's got a series of books that chronicle all the people that go missing in the national parks every year. And again, how it's not really reported on, you know?
Right. And also, they're finding that whenever someone says that they heard a humming or lights before the person got beamed off the national park, it brings up the issue of possible off-planet colonies that are slaves, that they're literally taking campers, and they're not ordinary people. We're talking about people who are astute in electronics or medical technology or engineers. They just disappear as if somebody beam them up and they take them off planet to serve. And then sometimes they drop them off, but they have no recollection and they're found miles away. So this is, we are living in interesting times. We need to always have angelic protection and develop a relationship with ascended masters.
And,
because, go ahead, Brother Ross.
How you were speaking about the inner earth, some say they might not be being taken off planet, but actually taken like down in the Antarctic regions, down in Antarctica, certain colonies.
Yeah.
That those inner earth beings and certain humans, I don't know if they're on our team or not, but they building colonies down there, and sometimes they need labor that them just take from up here, you know? So that's another. Antarctica is a very active place right now as far as the Star Nation science. And some say that Antarctica is intentionally being melted from the inside by these, you know, federated inner earth beings and Palladian aligned humans. Okay. And yeah, I don't think that's going to be a good look globally once Antarctica's ice shelf melts. You know, I think it's part of a greater agenda of world domination. So we do have to pay attention to that as well.
Let's get into some questions, family. I'm going to take a couple before we get out of here. Once again, we were Ross Ben and Hankh Rise's son. It's been a magnificent show. If you didn't see the whole thing, I advise you to start from the beginning, because the whole show has been action-packed and full of info for the people, especially in these times that we all need. Let's see what's going on in the chat. We got about 800 people in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's going on? Give me a couple of good questions. Okay. This is a common question. McCoy King wants to know, is Planet X Nibiru on the way, and how can we make natural hydrogen water?
I'll take that. First piece, let's deal with natural water. The pyramids throughout the world, during the golden age, were wireless electricity generators, and water was used for cooling. So every pyramid throughout the world has an underground spring. So heating and cooling the water repetitiously supercharges the hydrogen and purifies the atmosphere. So you can go to a website. A European man who is now 90 years old, still lifting 50-pound barbells, upstate New York, has a website called johnellis.com. And on this website, you can get a device that heats and cools water hundreds of times and supercharges the hydrogen atoms to be easily absorbed heal cancer, diabetes, by removing the radioactive element that causes aging called deuterium. So you can get that machine. I have one myself, and I like the water, and it's the only thing you have to do is add minerals to the water. And you can use that with select salts or minerals of your liking. The other thing, as far as Nibiru, work on becoming enlightened in this life, brother. Never mind what's going on in Nibiru. That's something else to be spooked out and taking your focus away from meditating. Focus on cultivating your male sexual energy and work on activating your kundalini so that you become a god in this life with the present spacesuit you're animating in.
Well, I'll say one thing on Nibiru. When I study these chemtrails, the dispersion of chemtrails don't seem random to me. It seems like if the chemtrails out in the morning is to block the clear view of the sun when it's low to the earth. And the same with sunset in the afternoon. If I see chemtrails in the afternoon, it seems like all of the planes are flying in such a way that the trails they are leaving leaves a cover of where the sun is going to set. So you don't really get to see the sun when it gets to a certain level near the earth. To me, it seems like they're trying to conceal something. More so, beyond just dropping chemicals on us. That there's something they don't want us to see that may be visible when the sun is dawning and setting. So that's,
Okay.
that's my thought on the Nibiru.
Definitely. Let's get another question, family. Or somebody wants to know, is it a way they could purchase Mystic Philadelphia from Rosben?
Rosben.com.
Rosben.com, family. Go to Rosben.com, and the brother got all the books there. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. Give me. Oh, what do y'all think about this is from Chris Middleton? What do y'all think about that Harvard scientist trying to block the sun from global warming?
Yes, some people are scared of the sun. They think that that's a better remedy than activating melanin. So, or healing the ozone. So yeah, man, but none of that fuckery is gonna have no success. That's a vain attempt.
The sun is an orgone generator, family. Going into the sun, you get your vitamin D. You can realize you can talk to the spirit of the sun. Develop a relationship with the sun and your crystals. Ask the sun literally to charge your crystals. Put your crystals in the sunlight for at least a half an hour. Learn how to muscle test to talk to the crystals because they have a spirit within them and they can guide you and enrich your life for whatever you desire to manifest, including enlightenment. We don't hear in our communities, we don't hear it in religions, we don't hear about the unlimited potential that you can achieve in this lifetime. They have you diverted with social madness on the platforms of media instead of cultivating sexual energy, harnessing the electromagnetic sea of energy for free energy. We're not even supposed to be using tires, family. We are literally antiquated using gravity-prone tires on luxury cars. So if you get a Bugatti or you get a Lexus, you still got tires? Don't wake up. The rest of the universe is levitation is in. Levitation of vehicles. We're using oil, coal, and gas as fuel. We are literally, that is an antiquated form of energy. You have electricity in the air, so much electricity in the air that you could glow at night with the correct diet and conditioning of your mind. So I'm going to share with you, family, get into something called Silver Mind Control Method. That is a book you can buy by Jose Silva that teaches you how to go into alpha states so that you can access anything from fruits, vegetables, vitamins, minerals, angels, ascended masters, or even talking to your children while they're sleeping. Okay, it's called Silver Mind Control Method. All right. But realize in this lifetime, you have sexual energy not for just wasting in porn, but that energy will literally lift you to the highest realms of heaven, because sexual energy is physical energy materialized. Sexual energy cultivated literally activates and supercharges the kundalini so that you become a god again. You were born to be a god. And I'm not talking about sitting there with a bunch of disciples. I'm talking about gods that have new technology for tomorrows to come. How you're going to make the world better just by the power and the magic and the magnetism of your mind. Enlightenment to awaken the ancient secrets of magnetism and electricity to regenerate, elevate, and be in more than one location. How are you going to teleport if you're focused on social media? You have the ability to become supermen, avatars, superheroes, women and men. It's just a matter of you focusing on your I am, your nuke poo nuke, your divinity, and say, yes, I am awakening to all I was born to do. Yes, I am.
Somebody asked, where's this at? I'm gonna take two more questions, family. Somebody asks, do we have allies inside the earth? These beings in the earth, do we have any allies?
Yes.
I affirm that.
Could you elaborate on that?
Enoch describes two regions in the inner earth, you know? One that's like the torment of what we would say the fallen angels, and one is the habitation of the, redeemed souls. So yeah, we do have allies within the earth. But we all, it's just like up on the surface. We got apparent opposition on the surface, and we got our team on the surface, So it's the same way within the inner earth, same way within the heavens, as above, so below.
Also, you have in Mount Shasta, in Northern California, there's an entrance to go into the inner earth if you are qualified and mature enough spiritually. They will accept you in Mount Shasta. Northern California is a opening going into the earth's interior. And I just had from Dr. George Love, told me the story about two Native Americans who went into the mountain and came out 20 years later without aging a day. So the aging process on the planet's surface is abnormal for rest of celestial life. And yes, the moon is a satellite. It is not a natural occurrence. It's a spaceship. And that's why it rotates in such perfection. The moon is a spaceship, and they're monitoring the children on this planet. The surface savages are monitoring the earth from the moon.
Yeah. But they just to build on what you just shared, they say the stronger the gravitational field, the slower time moves. So if you are granted access to the inner earth, yeah, you're going to experience time much slower than if we still up here, and same as if we were to leave. What is time to us? It's a year we experience as the earth going around the sun, right? Well, what if we're not in that orbit no more. We're out of time. We're out of that time. So are we, what does that mean? Yeah, we won't be aging. Time won't have the effect on us, and I think that even goes forward to Rising Sun was starting with talking about exposure to that. Was it deuterium?
Yes, deuterium.
Where, right, really that is what is aging, exposure to that over time, you know? Yes, sir.
And crystals correctly wrapped and orgone correctly made. You just don't throw anything in the orgone. It literally shields you from deuterium. So if you watch, family, over the years, people who create good quality orgone, they don't age as fast because it puts a protective field around you. Get the book also called Awesome Force, Joseph Cater. It shows you how to create devices, energy devices, from electrical devices, free energy devices, even running a car on air. But you better not try to go to the media that's owned by the oil companies, because you will disappear. But there's a book called Awesome Force by Joseph Cater. Now, he is, if you read carefully, he's a little bit of a racist, but just get the information. Don't get caught up in the messenger. Learn the technical innovation of running a car on orgone-rich air and how to wire a transformer to get more electricity out than the electricity going in. Okay? What's the next question?
Let's take one more question, family. Then we're gonna get out of here. One more question. Let's see. Is there a sun in the center of the earth?
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is.
A different sun from the one we see.
Yes, it's called Smoky. Some civilizations call it Smoky God. That's inside the earth. It's called Smoky God. They have daylight and nighttime. And if you say your prayers or put your affirmations with your crystal, that you ask one of the ascended masters like Shekhar Bamba, like Simeon Toko, like Saint Germain, like Nikolai Tesla, to carry you in your dreams to the earth's interior, they will.
Wow.
Yeah, in the book of Enoch, he gives a tour to the inner world too, the inner earth.
Wow.
So check out the book of Enoch, he breaks it down. He takes you to that land of the redeemed souls. You get to see what it's like. It's like they describe it as a lake with like a never setting sun. He goes where they say the soul, the fallen angels are being held in their prison. Describes it. Yeah, man, it's all there from the ancients.
And I want to share with the family that in Tibet, they have records of thousands of people who developed their rainbow body to reach ascension, not enlightenment, but ascension in this lifetime. And they said, how is that possible? And they said, for 7 years, you shouldn't think or speak anything less than love. If if it's less than the music of love, you don't speak it, you breathe deep, and you minimize thinking about it. And you develop a rainbow body that literally becomes like a supernova sun, and you disappear like the Jedi did in the Star Wars movie, that he just disappeared off that mountain cliff. That's a rainbow body that they're showing the story about. And you can achieve that in this lifetime if we would think on Love Supreme,
More
by John
love.
Coltrane.
Yes,
Love Supreme. And forgive all life. Because a lot of times we point a finger, but 3 fingers are pointing back at us, because we come from past lives with karma that's so horrendous that we've been given the grace of amnesia. And early Christianity taught reincarnation. Every culture taught reincarnation. But in this lifetime, you can reach enlightenment. You can experience ascension, that you return to the velocity of love. And entheogens can assist you with spiritually enlightened beings and ascended masters and angels. That is the purpose the true reason for using psychedelics.
Listen, man, such an amazing show. I gotta get out of here, man. I see y'all got some good questions in the chat, man. If I could stay, I would stay. But we're gonna do this again, man. Having these two brothers on here has definitely been real fun. I want you two to leave your websites and your contact info before we get out of here. Brother named Omni, actually, shout out to Omni Game. Shout out to everybody who would up the Cash App with a donation. But the brother Omni want to know, Hank, are you selling the bottles of John Ellis? So I guess you can answer that, and also just leave your contact for the people.
Okay, my website is Orgone, ORGONE, the number 4, YOU.com. Orgone, ORGONE, the number 4, YOU.com, and healingwaterbottle.com. Healingwaterbottle.com. You can reach me through email. I really don't focus on selling the water because I've been focusing on the crystals and the coils and the magnets, but I can give you connections with people who have it available in the New York City area and also Jamaica, the island of Jamaica, because there's a small group of us that stay in touch with each other on how to, make their pyramid water. But you can do it on your own, as I spoke earlier about on the show. You can create your own pyramid water because on eBay it sells for $80 a gallon.
Bang.
Oh, and I want to say one more thing. Everybody in the audience, please support Brother Rich, his PayPal, his donation links. Support the brother. He's a young father. He got a little baby that's just barely off the nipple, and he's got bills, and we're his extended family. So he needs us and we need him. He's providing the information, show abundance, the spirit of generosity. And I'm not talking about 50 cents, $1. Give him at least $10, $20. If you're able, give him $200. But give to our brother so that he can continue to bring these amazing shows to you free of charge. Brother Rosh, you looking good there, brother.
Thank you, Star. You as well. Yeah, man. You as well. Yeah, so my contact, rossben.com, is my one-stop shop. I'm on IG, rossben188, and YouTube, rossben188. So, I've been in my turtle shell for a minute, so this thing is nothing new for me. I'm actually thankful, I could be in my shell and feel no way, because that's where they got us all in our turtle shell for the moment, But I definitely want to ashe what you shared as far as this platform, It had been a minute for me to be on here, and I'm thankful for this opportunity. Yeah, Brother Rich, I made it up to New York for that Ascension conference.
Right.
Hell, I was vending, and the frequency. Yeah, man, I know it helped my personal momentum coming into 2020. Just being amongst, all those enlightened beings in the house. And I've watched your, I guess I would call it, your growth and your evolution, your maturing, nature, the questions you asked years ago versus what I'm hearing from you now. I saw you on Black Dot, and it's right, usually you're the one asking the questions, and you don't really get to hear what's on your heavens. And it's man, and to realize that you're a young brethren. It's inspiring, brothers. So just keep doing your thing, man, living your purpose, because you're inspiring a lot of people, and that is one thing we definitely need in this time is strengthening other spirit. That's what inspiration means, Yeah, man. So, and rising sun, yeah, man. I truly got to give thanks for our connection. Because like I say, it was you know, I didn't really block the sound, but, you know, in 2018, I also, like in the process of bringing the Great Mystery Philadelphia forward, I suffered a serious health crisis. You know, I almost was out of here, to be honest with y'all, you know, and a big part of my rebound and rejuvenation was traveling with you down to Virginia, brother.
That
And,
was, yeah.
you know, so yeah, man, like when you say we family, the thing is you can't take it for granted. You don't want to wait until you're in crisis mode to realize how important we are to one another, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I just want to acknowledge that publicly, you know, give you that rose while you alive and say thank you, Star. Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you, brother.
Britt. And you know, let's be a strength and a comfort for one-on-ones in this season. A lot of people need it.
Yeah.
And if we've done nothing but just wash some fear out of one's hearts for an hour or two, let's give thanks, you know? And if that was the case for you, then you have the charge to go and do that for someone else. Help ease the stress and strain on their heart and magnetize it with some love, some affirmation, some ashe, you know? Yes,
Exactly.
sir.
We got a network. I remember going to a reading. I thank Babalao Ifakunle for inviting me to a reading. And he said, what's the most important is for us to get rest, stay hydrated, and network with each other, because it's going to be a bumpy road. And we're just in March and all of this is going on. What's going to happen by the time July hits, we don't know. But collectively, with our crystals, with Brother Rich, Ross Ben, and our family, we can go through this and thrive. We were born to thrive. And anyone who does order from me, with the exception of the cell phone shields, please be patient. I'm a one-man researcher, developer, and producer. I will make it, and stay in touch with me, because the Uncle Hanky in me loves making stuff for my nieces and nephews, even in the spirit family and beyond the bloodlines. Because my family's from Virginia, North Carolina, so we all connected. We are all family. And I love what Brother Ross Ben has done. He's in my inspiration for writing. I thank Brother Rich. I see Brother Rich making movies in the future. Maybe he'll hook up with somebody and have unlimited possibilities. I feel like, Brother Rich, you're going to be making movies in the future, brother.
Look, Rising Sun, I got to tell you this. And Brother Rich, you know this, because I've been I've been calling Brother Rich for 2 years and telling him, get your camera and come to Philly.
Yeah.
His movie is here. I've been telling him that these other people have been hollering at me, wanting to do a movie, Great Mystery Philadelphia, but my spirit has been like, no, this is for Brother Rich. And I've been calling him.
Yeah.
So you hearing it from the next elder brother, all right? This summer, I expect you to come down, bring blue, red, you know, Cambada. I'm gonna get black. I'm gonna get the Black and Nobel family, couple of other brethren that hold it firm here. We're gonna do this. All right.
We definitely gonna make that happen. We definitely gonna make that happen, man. But once again, man, I appreciate you two brothers for being on here. Thanks for everybody in the chat room. This is Brother Rich, Roz Ben, Hank Roz's son, and we getting out of here, family. Peace.
Yes, I.